Oh my god, it's Chainsaw Man. Vex. Vexy, Wexy, Vex. Vex and I were just talking about how they should. Fuck my goddamn fucking. You and your fucking.
me and my they them pronouns.
It's just like whereas like shitty Republicans are mad about it because they're just terrible people, I'm mad about it because I can't remember to use the right pronoun ever. Anyway, Vex and I were just talking about how they should call up all their old high school friends on a whim and ask to fuck.
So for context, I was digging through my tech drawer, just seeing how much shit I still had to get rid of, and I found my old Razor flip phone from when I was in high school.
We're talking about this because of the flip phone importance of this chapter.
I'm just like, I have it still, and like, I kind of want to film a skit with it now.
In what? I do too, actually, because then we could snap it in half for this chat. You know what I mean? We could like, I want to do a skit where you're like, trying to climb more and more absurdly high places to try to get a signal. Like, and then like I'm trying to figure out like where we could. I wish I had like super strong like upper core strength. I'd want to like go to your like third floor apartment and like fucking lean off the deck with like me holding you up and you're like fucking halfway off the fucking thing, like about to fall off. You got a signal yet? And then like it cuts down to the bottom of the fucking like on the road and there's like people trying to don't jump. They got like they're unfurling the net.
Yeah, I kind of wish this was a skit I could do.
Well, don't be a pussy. Let's do it.
We're going to have to get a team of very strong, strapping, buff men.
Oh wow, you would hate that, wouldn't you?
I'd absolutely not want that. Ooh woo.
How? Remind me of your level of gay. Are like you? Would you want to be dicked down in the bus?
I would be open to being dicked down in the bus, but I am very much the top in most relationships I've had of the gay variety.
Yeah, it's because they've got a toxic controlling thing going on. I feel like if you could just open up and be a subby wubby bottom just once in your life, you'd
I'm the
experience
person
nirvana.
that opened other people up to getting pegged, Red, okay?
Anytime you have an issue with anyone in your life, and you know who I'm referring to right now, you should just let them top you.
That person is more of a bottom than
I know, exactly. That's why it's like fucking it's like the ultimate fucking solution, right? Like you'd give him the confidence and you'd give you the ability to let go. And
absolutely not. I would rather fucking light my dick on fire.
I've seen his dick. Anyway, sorry, moving on. What was I gonna say? So it's been a bit. Vexy took his sabbatical, which is just a fancy word for a break, and it really worked out well because it was like during all the breaks, so we really only missed one chapter, so we can talk about this as like a mega chapter, the Aquarium chapter.
Right, we're very much not done with this Aquarium chapter, but I love this chapter, this week's chapter so much.
Let's kind of talk about both of them as one unit, and we can hop around like we normally do. But I have stuff to say about last week's and this week's.
I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. It's only 3 days before I'm already going to be recording the first podcast of the new year. So what's 3 days?
Do you have the chapters up, by the way? In case
I do not. Let me
get them.
I'm a little rusty. Okay, it's been about a month. I haven't contented.
I never forgot how. Okay, so I'll start. Are you getting it up then?
I am. Okay. I apparently have to log back into Viz.
Something that I really, really enjoyed about these last couple chapters, and like I continue to love Asa as a character, and in 113, which the links on this fucking website are very strange. You gotta like find the sweets. It's like finding the clit to click on these things. That makes it sound like I can't find the clit. I know where the clit is. I promise. I swear I know where the clit. Yeah. Anyway, I really like 113. I think gives us one of the best like looks into just Asa's whole deal, like of any chapter so far. You know, I had wondered for a long time why she's considered not popular. We talk about this all the time. Like, what's her deal? Why does she have like literally no friends? Now I'm starting to see she has a bit of a controlling streak in her, and I almost wonder if it reminds me of and Vex, I'm sure you've interacted with people like this before. People that like really look down on themselves anytime that they think they've found someone who's like lesser than them, they'll have a tendency to like immediately start acting superior and being very controlling to them to kind of feel some sense of control in their own life, right? So like you know, I'll fully admit it, I've done this to people before back when I was like, and again, you know who I'm referencing. It's just a good example. I don't mean to keep bringing him up, but Thurman, you know, we both had an issue where we'd like bully the shit out of him in the chat because back then he was like super cringe, and we'd be like, oh, cringe Thurman, right? And like this hierarchy can kind of form at like think like a high school lunch table, right? Like there's like a group. Oh, or a good example is if you ever watched Gravity Falls. There's that friend group that Wendy has, where there's that one that's just like constantly getting beaten the shit out of and like pranked and bullied, and he's like, I'm just here because I want to keep the friend group together. I just like being involved, and they're just like, shut the fuck up, you know. So like,
yeah, I mean, and that's a very real thing. Like in every group, there tends to be a hierarchy. This is the person with the brains. This is the person with the brawn. This is the person that can actually
not even just like
think analytically.
Right, not even just though like specific traits like that, like an Avengers thing, but more I mean like the pecking order almost, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you have like the list of like coolest to least cool, and like you can kind of see and like when it moves you can feel that dynamic shift. You know, it's an unfortunate thing. I remember when I kind of started to get more attractive and I lost a bunch of weight, I noticed the other bottom bitch in the group with me was starting to get a little salty because he noticed like, oh shit, like he has more self-confidence and now I'm kind of the bottom bitch, right? So like that, you can feel that dynamic. So I'm starting to see from this 113 here, you kind of see a bit of her toxicity, you know, and like where it's at, because the way she treats Denji is very clearly like, I consider you to be a fucking retard, like you're an idiot. And I'm just using, you know, she's like, dumb boy, ha ha ha. And of course, you know, Denji's not the sharpest tack in the drawer, but at the same time, like there's more to him. And I've even made that mistake, or like, you know, been guilty of just simplifying Denji to like dumb, idiot, dumb. But
I mean, the thing is, like, even with her talking to him like he's a retard, she still seems to have, like, in the back of her head, like, a little bit of knowing what she's doing is wrong, too. So she's not fully down that long path, but at the same time, she's very much into being the domineering person in a relationship. She wants to be the one taking full control no matter what. And they both, in a sense, fall into that. Only she's the leader, he's the sheep.
Well, it's interesting. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
He's so broken that he wants stability and order, that so he'll follow around. But you can see now he's starting to try and break out of that. Yeah. And I really like that little bit of development we got from Denji there.
Yeah, no, for sure. He tried to stick with it, but like I think he reminds me of someone who he's got this pie in the sky dream like vision of what it would be like to date a girl. Like, oh, it'd be so cool. But then there's always that moment where you date someone and you're like, oh, right, girls are just people too, right? And there can be annoying ones and there can be fun ones. It's just because they're a girl doesn't mean that you're going to magically love them and they're going to be like unicorns and fluffy rainbows. She is very, very weird. And I love this about her. This like, she's got this plan where she's like fucking done research on, and she's like, I got 15 minutes of just like shit I can say about each exhibit, and it's funny because like when I first read this, I was like, oh, she's trolling, she's messing with him, but like you see into her mind, and she is so convinced that, oh yeah, dude, he's gonna.
I have it planned down to the minute, and like
no, not even just that though. I want to talk about specifically. She is convinced that this will make a boy fall for her. She's like, it's not even just like, oh, I'm so impressive because I learned all this. She's like, oh yeah, dude, this is how you make a boy fall for you, and she couldn't be further from the truth on that. Now, some boys, real quick, some boys would appreciate, I think, like, oh wow, she's so you know, I don't know, like passionate about this, but like it's not even that. She's not letting him talk back at all, and like to be honest with you, the joke about men is actually, it's the opposite. If she wanted to make a boy fall for her, especially one that, you know, tends to be on a bit more of a shallow side like Denji, the joke really is all you got to do is smile and laugh at their jokes and go, you're so funny. And like if she just did that, she probably would have gotten Denji way more around her finger. But she genuinely, it's just basically my main point is it shows how removed and detached she is from reality. Like I don't know what the word is for it, but like when your social condition, your mental condition is being so terrible at socializing, and because that's a part of all mental illness, but like I'm sure that's like a a main, what's it called, like sociopathy, or like if you can't like empathize with others. I sense a bit of that from her. You know what I mean?
She's a sociopath, and
and like
it
of course,
makes sense too.
To remind people, that doesn't always mean like mass murderer type shit. Like it just means that she has a hard time like being in other people's shoes, because it just shocks me that she genuinely thought that would work. It brings a lot of light into her character. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a very, very common thing too, having a bit of sociopathy. But no, like just to kind of give a little credence to her here, like
I'm not shitting on her at all. I love her to death.
No, like so dumb gorilla brain me for my first date. I used to be very, very good with the guitar when I was in high school.
Oh, the classic, like, I wrote you a song, girl.
No, dead ass.
Vex, it's cringe.
Baby Vex wrote his first girlfriend, like baby, like 15, 16-year-old, wrote a love song. And I'm like, all I want to do is play this for you. I tried for the entire fucking school day, carrying around my fucking Fender guitar, trying to impress this girl that I just was head over heels for.
Yeah, I talked to Allie about this a long time ago, because, you know, a real girl thoughts on this. I talked to Allie, and I was like, it's really sad that, like, the whole I wrote you a song thing is so cringe, because it shouldn't be, right? Like, when you think about it, it is very nice. Like, that's super nice. If you real quick, if you write a song for someone, and like you genuinely, like, that should be like a tender moment, but for whatever reason it's just seen as ubiquitously cringe, and it's not fair, because I think it actually is like a nice thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the funny part is, like, one of my favorite genres of music is pop punk, and I know it's a very problematic genre.
Oh, dude, did you do like a "Where are you?" and "I'm so sorry"?
I hate how accurate that voice is. But no, like I wrote like a fucking little lovey pop punk song. I still love pop punk, and 95% of that genre is either romantic, like breakup songs, or sad songs about being brokenhearted, or love songs for their partner that they end up cheating on on tour.
Yeah. At least it wasn't country.
No, God, no. I would fucking rather slit my throat. Oh, I fucking hate country. I don't hate country. I hate modern stadium country. And that's mostly because that's my dad's favorite genre, and that's all I hear.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, like, the thing I love about this chapter in particular is how down to the minute she went with it, and that controlling aspect of her.
Like that. Hey, let's go have a nice fun time, and then like it's like, no, we can't walk away yet.
You walk into Disney, and the Disney mom in the corner is like, okay, from 9:05 to 9:25, we're going to stand in line and twiddle our dicks while we get our fast passes checked, and then we're going to go to Epcot.
Yeah, that's such a common trope that there's an episode like that in like every kid's cartoon. There's an episode where like they're trying to just have fun, and then there's like the obsessive characters like, no guys, the schedule. Yeah, no, it's the worst. You are the worst if you do that.
Yeah, like, I get that you have been to this thing a million times and you know the best way to utilize your time, but let us experience that for the first time.
Vibe. Yeah.
You know, like, I want to go have a drink around the world and be sloshed by the time I get to Mexico. Okay, come on now.
I'm just looking at this again. I fucking love Asa. She's so mentally ill. I like the fact that I'm at page 6 through 7 on 113, and she's like, literally her internal monologue is after she gives another fucking thing, and he's like, please, I want to see the penguins, shut up. And he's like, and she's literally sitting there like, he should be falling for me around now. Even the aquarium employees couldn't give explanations this interesting. Which is like, dude, she reminds me of like, it's like, I don't know what the word for this is. Maybe you will. Like, there are people that they don't really understand like emotions. Like, maybe it is the sociopathy stuff, but like, I feel like emotionally, she's very stunted, because like she looks at like, oh, dude, I know how to get him to love me. I'll win in the information game. Like, she's looking at love as like ones and zeros, right? Like numerical points almost. And this would tie in and like be bolstered by the fact, like the stuff we saw earlier with her and Bucky, when every other kid was like, oh, Bucky, you're so fun, and they were forming like a genuine attachment to him. And I think, obviously we look at the whole stuff with Bucky and it's like, oh, she has trauma with devils because of her mom, but let's be honest, the statistics of this world, they all probably have some level of trauma with devils, so it isn't just that, it's that
I think that's genuinely why
I got one more sentence and then I promise. It isn't just that. I think it does have a lot to do with just like she has like some sort of like inability to like form emotional bonds. Anyway, go ahead.
So like statistically speaking, like in a universe like this, like everybody has some form of mental illness, right? From all the trauma, so they're coping in their own way. But I think developmentally, it's kind of proven that like sociopathy, if you're exposed to a lot of trauma at a young age, it's going to form easier than like naturally through regular circumstances or being, down that fucking one way or the other pipeline that you would go.
Right, but at the same time, it's implied that she, over all of them, is like even if they all have like levels of trauma and like mental illness, she's definitely like a bit more intense because no one even wants to be her friend.
Right.
And I genuinely think that regardless of if it's something she was born with or if it comes from losing her mom at such a young age, or probably most likely a combination of both, I've like my official headcanon now is that she has an inability to like form emotional bonds, or at least she has like a really hard time with it. Obviously she had like kind of a friend thing going on with Yuko, but like I don't know, like I have we even really seen her like. I'm trying to remember if we've seen her like have a good cry or like usually she looks like very like plain faced, and I know at the end of this most recent chapter she's like sitting out in the hallway like kind of sulking, but like I feel like that's the vibe I'm getting from her, is that she has a really hard time.
She's very much emotionless, and
not emotionless, but like definitely I think that she's got to fight, and in order for any emotions to get out, it's got to fucking fight its way through like 1,000 layers of numbness.
Yeah, and we did see technically her absolutely giddy when she was with Yuko, so we do know that she can express some emotion. So like she must have had so much happiness at that point in her life that it was able to break through all the layers of the onion, basically.
Well, it's because finally she had a friend who was more mentally ill than her, and it's interesting too because Yuko's like mental illness, it was like. She was able to better mask than Asa. Like, because Yuko, she had, like, that school shooter shit in her. And like, she had that psycho shit going on. But, like, she was still able to be... It shows a lot how how much our society... I hate saying society because, like, it's ruined by the Joker meme. But, like, anyway, I do have a point. It shows how our society, it really rewards and expects extroversion. I don't know how to say it. Like, it expects people to be extroverts and sociable, right? Like, that's kind of like what's considered the normal thing. And if you are an introvert, if you don't want to talk to people, you're considered weird. You know what I mean? So like,
well, I mean, we've technically gamified human interaction at this point through all the various forms of social media. Like, you can get that instant hit of dopamine just from a like. So having that is even human interaction to a point, especially like if you're like us, right? Where we're content creators, we go in, we view our analytics. That's us interacting, filming a video. We get to have this like conversation where we gamify our friendship by giving a reward to the viewer here in the form of the video. I'm way too high, and I'm explaining this like I'm fucking on shrooms or some shit, but I'm not on shrooms, I promise. But like it's very bizarre how we've gone from like the street corner back when we were kids, and we would have like our little tiny friend group, and that would be the extent of our human interaction. And even though you're more extroverted than I am, I'm like full on hermit.
Oh, I've been getting more introverted as I get older.
See, it does happen. It does happen. Usually right around 26, I've noticed. But no, like I've always been kind of hermit mode because I've always been, I grew up in a tiny ass towns where like the most fun was going out in the woods. That sounds very shootery, doesn't it?
I guess. I mean, most of those shooters do come from small little towns like that.
Right. That's why I was getting at that joke. But but no, like that was the most extent I had was like 2 or 3 kids that were my age, and even then, like I didn't like interacting with them because we were all different forms of like variously fucked up housing situations.
Mm-hmm. Is this tying back to the chapter at all? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that little like gamification that we've made as we progress, like you see how fiction has kind of gone in and done things. There was a manga that I recommended you read a long time ago called Sacrificial Vote.
I remember this. Yeah.
So basically, it was like a game show where it was like you go through and all of your secrets come out, all your dirt. Basically, it was like canceling before canceling, like the teachers having
Canceling
to...
the game show. We should do that. That sounds fun.
What YouTuber got canceled for involving themselves with a minor in the year 26?
Do you know the YouTubers Super Mega at all?
I've seen a bit of their content.
They used to be like editors for Game Grumps and editors for Markiplier, and then they had a video recently where they made a fake Hot Ones interview because they couldn't get invited to Hot Ones, so they like did their own little pretend Hot Ones.
Oh god.
Whoever they had playing the host, I don't know. Have you seen a Hot Ones in a while? You know how they do that thing where it's like,
it's been a while. I saw the
segment
Puss in Boots one on Twitter though.
Wow. They have a segment where they'll like bring up like random Instagram pictures and be like, "Hey, give us more context on this picture." Do you know that segment?
Yeah. Oh god.
So in the Super Mega video, they have like a photoshopped photo of them with Jeffrey Epstein, and it's like, "Hey, you want to give us a little more context on this?"
No.
And then the next one was them at like the January 6th riots in Nancy's office. They just kept going through, and then getting worse and worse.
God, next one's him in Epstein's cell.
Yeah, Super Mega. But anyway, tying it back to the chapter, I'm just trying to like, I've had a really good time with these last couple chapters, just like trying to psychoanalyze Asa.
Right.
And I also, just as a couple more things that I noticed, moving on to 114, because now at the end of 113, Fammy, is that what we're calling her? That's what she might be called, right? No, yeah, but Fammy is she said call me Fammy, remember?
Yeah, call me Fammy. I got it here.
I don't know, it's just easy. Yeah. We can just call her Famine or Fammy, whatever you want to call her, but Fam Squad. Fammy was like, all right, hey, I seemingly, the implication is that she somehow blocked out Yoru from being able to talk to Asa. I need to actually go back and read how she worded that, because she said like, you're not gonna get out of here until I'm gonna help my sister finally, because you're taking for fucking ever, and so I'm just gonna keep you locked in here. I don't know if she's working with Eternity or like controlling Eternity, or if I don't know, or if maybe it'll be like, oh, it actually wasn't Eternity, but it actually is Famine's power all along. Do you have a theory on that?
I'm genuinely kind of confused on that as well, and I'm sure the comments can explain it a little bit better than we're comprehending it. But what I do kind of think is it's leaning more towards the working with, because I feel like enough time has passed for something as damning as Eternity to come back. Because Hell's gonna be like, nope, bop, back to Earth with you.
Oh God, you got fucking killed by Chainsaw Man. I don't even want to hear I want to hear about it. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so I went back and looked at it. Famine comes out, call me Fammy, and then Yoru's like, not good, Asa, don't listen to that, and then she just like bops her out, and then she's like, oh yeah, I took Yoru outside, it's only temporary, so yeah, you won't be, so basically, it sounds like they like almost teleported outside of like Eternity Devil's reign, or like area, so now they can't like reach each other. It's almost like, it reminds me of, I'm trying to think what that reminds me of. I've seen anime before where it's like, oh, I released this chunk of my power, and now this spirit energy can't come back because I'm in like a different dimension or something. I don't know what I'm thinking of, but that reminds me of something from like Bleach or something.
It definitely gives the Bleachy vibes.
But either way,
maybe
what I really like,
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Maybe, yeah. Going into this this next chapter though, I really enjoy this little part of her character here.
Okay.
What's up?
Okay, so out of this, can we just talk about how badly I want Fake Sawman to die?
Oh yeah. Real quick, I was still going and talking about a bit more about Asa's character though.
Okay.
I just wanted to say in 114, she's talking about, she has an inner monologue where she's like, oh cool, if maybe I can just, because she thinks fake Sawman is real Chainsaw Man. She's like, oh, if I just kill him, I don't gotta kill you, and then I can finally get my body back. And then like 2 pages later, she's outside after having her argument with Denji, which we need to go into as well. And she's like, God, what a fucking asshole. Maybe I should turn him into a weapon, right, Yoru? And then like crickets, nothing. And you see like one of Fujimoto's famous like wordless, textless panel shots where you just see the face. I genuinely think now she's hitting a moment now where she almost has gotten so used to having Yoru as like someone to talk to constantly, and keep in mind Asa's someone who's been lonely for probably most of her life, so right. I think she's having a quick internal moment here where she's like, do I even want to get rid of Yoru, because I actually I'm growing to almost like this weird thing we got going on here, because at least it's something.
Yeah, she's got Stockholm syndrome.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, but on to fucking fake Sawman. Yeah, very annoying.
Like, there in every show, I feel like there's like characters.
This is like the Yumi Chica. Remember Yumi Chica from Bleach?
Right. That you just want to punch them in the face.
I saw something on Twitter. It was like, here in the Chainsaw Man community or fandom, we support the gays, except for that one.
Except for that one. He is very overly flamboyant, and he definitely gives off some bottom energy.
Oh yeah, he's like, he keeps trying to introduce himself, and then different people keep interrupting him. Speaking of the people interrupting him, who is this knockoff Kobani?
Right?
There was a moment, I'm sure for both of us, where we were like, Kobani? Wait, no, she's not in high school. What the fuck?
Right. Like, you have Diet Kobani and you have Yoshida here.
Diet Kobani does actually sound like a drink, because it's so close to Diet Coke. Diet Kobani.
I love it. Oh,
I'd drink some fucking Kobani. I'd drink whatever liquids come out of Kobani.
Right?
People that aren't into Kobani are neurotypicals. Those dirty nerd. I can't even imagine not being into. I've seen so many people that are like, God, she's so annoying. I'm like, nah, dude, she's just like me for real.
So have you seen the trend of like more and more people saying they don't have an inner monologue on Twitter?
Yeah, dude, didn't we? I know I retweeted about this.
I don't know if it was you that retweeted it, if I saw it because you retweeted or somebody else retweeted it, but I know I kept seeing like takes on that. I cannot imagine going through life without an inner monologue.
So actually, yeah, that's a good little side tangent. So I have a question for you, audience. Genuinely, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Do you have an inner monologue? What we mean by that is when you're going throughout your day, making decisions, do you just make them? Or do you just, or do you like, I guess because like it'd be a difference. I'm not saying that like these people don't think, but like I feel like they probably just, it's almost like how you can't describe like a color without using its like word, right? Like
right.
Instead of like thinking in words and sentences, they would probably just think in emotions and feelings. So they would like just have a feeling to go open the door. Whereas Vex and I are like, oh, I gotta go open that door now. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I have always had an internal monologue. I talk to myself. I'm like, okay, in my head, I'm like, okay, I need to go do this. Then I'm gonna go do that. But
see, I do both.
There are studies that, I'm just giving context for the audience that hasn't seen this. There are studies that like somewhere between 30%, 40%, maybe even 50% of people just don't have inner monologues. And I did a retweet where I was like, I connected that to like boomers with like lead in them and like people that voted Republican. And I was like, connected, maybe. But yeah, I'm curious. Go ahead.
So like I communicate with it both like verbally and like via thought, depending on like the situation. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, say I keep forgetting to do the thing that my brain keeps telling me to do. I'm like, dumbass, you need to do your fucking laundry.
And we have those conversations with ourselves in our brain, and it's like, I can't. If there are people out there that really don't ever have a moment where you're in your head and you're like, God, that was stupid, why did I do that? And they just kind of go through life like a robot. It explains, like, because there's so many people in the world that seem like they don't have empathy at all. Like you know what I mean? And like, I think the thing that makes you the best type of people are people that can have introspection, right? When you do a thing, don't just do a thing. I want you to think about why you're doing that thing. And if you just do that simple thing, you'll be a much better person. There are so many people that will just go throughout life doing stuff and not like sit down and like self-reflect and be like, why did I do that? Why do I act like that? Think about
why did I spend $800 this week?
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's the step one to self-improvement. So, like, God, if there really is, like, 30% of people that don't have any of that kind of stuff going on at all, no wonder there are people that are just, like... Because, like, you know, I'm sure you've met people, everyone here has met someone in life that's just a total fucking NPC. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And what I mean by that is, like, there are people where it's like, Oh my God, are you real? Like you're like a fake person.
So like I used to be a bartender, so I experienced those NPCs in real time.
Well, it's crazy, man. Like
It's 6:29. My usual should be here. Oh, there he is walking through the door. You want a whiskey neat? Cool, here you go.
And isn't it sad to think about that there are people, because like I've caught myself, I'm glad you brought that up, because I've caught myself, we all get into ruts every once in a while, but the thing about having an internal monologue and being able to like, because again I have OCD, which, you know, society classifies as a mental illness, but at the same time there are pros and cons to that. It may be a mental illness because the world,
I wish I had your brand of OCD.
yeah, well, exactly, right? It's only considered a mental illness because whatever is, things are considered a mental illness when they are not good when they're not good for like jobs and careers, right? That's the only reason. If we didn't live in a world that was like prioritized on, well, you need to be able to go to school, you need to be able to take these tests, you need to be able to go to a factory and stand there for 8 hours straight and make these fucking clothes, you need to be able to fill out paperwork without getting distracted. If we lived in a world that was like, no, dude, the fucking ones with ADHD and OCD, they'd be going out and fucking picking the flowers and like they'd come up with the ideas. They're the ideas people, right? So like, there's nothing wrong with certain mental illnesses, and you know, it's all a matter of how far it takes you. I'm getting rambly, but the point is, there are people, the so-called neurotypicals, that just fucking, I think, can get into, like, those are the foot soldiers of capital, right? The ones that happily, with a smile on their face, never questioning it, go to work, clock in, work their fucking 12-hour shift, go home, go to sleep, get back up in the morning, beat their wife, go to work. You know?
Beat their wife, Jesus Christ.
Slid that in there. But like you and I'm sure we've had moments where we get into like little ruts for a second, but at a certain point we think about it and we're like, wait a minute, and we have a little bit of self-retrospection and like self-inspection and like thinking about like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Is this making me happy? But there's way too many. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to rant about that for a while.
Right.
The point is, don't let yourself be an NPC. Don't fall into a rut. Change it up.
I'm genuinely curious about that though, because like I work with somebody that said they don't have that inner monologue.
Kill them.
And
they're one of the others. They're an alien.
And in my line of work, in my particular department, I cannot imagine not having some form of inner monologue and not wanting to throw myself off of the fucking rafters.
Unironically, what if, you know, that like the stoned ape theory where it's like humans evolved from like apes that like ate mushrooms and that like evolved their brains? What if, because like isn't there like different like types of humans, like ones that evolved from like Neanderthals and ones that evolved from like this different type of thing. Isn't that real?
There's like Homo sapien and Homo something else.
Yeah, so what if we, the ones with the fucking inner monologues, are the apes that ate those fucking mushrooms, and the other ones are just boring ass non-mushroom eating apes?
Right, mushrooms.
Out there.
I would love one of these monkey mushrooms and evolve my brain again just a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, that's not how evolution works. It's a long million-year process that you can't just eat it once and be evolved.
Give me the pill from Limitless thing. God damn it.
Fun fact. This conversation about whether or not we're higher evolved beings came about from finding Kobani sexually attractive when other people don't. But by the way, facts. If you don't find Kobani sexually attractive, you're lesser evolved, and you get the fuck out of here. I love her so much, and it's not even just a sex thing. I want to protect her. I want to marry her. I want to feed her well. I want to give her a good life.
I'm calling Allie.
I mean, Allie is basically Kobani. No, that's not true. She has moments.
Red over here like, she's my little murder buddy.
Not even that. Well, actually, yeah, no, she can definitely flip a switch like that for sure, but yeah. Get yourself a woman who's just the right amount of crazy and pathetic.
Somebody clip that and send it to me, please.
I am kidding, by the way. No, it's what I mean by that is like inherent.
He's going in the control chaos blackmail folder.
I think inherent. Shut the fuck up. I think inherent to all men is like this, like want to protect, right? You feel
absolutely.
So like, but at the same time, it's also very, very, very hot when your woman is like goes uber badass mode, right?
See,
so you want real quick. I gotta finish my point, so you can't blackmail me. Fuck you. So like that's why you want a woman who can have moments where she's like, you know, like, oh, I need protection, and you can be like, yes, my manly, I'm here to be the man. But also, you can have moments where you walk up to her house and she's chopping wood, just like barehanded, fucking like in the forest, like a forest man. Either it's sexy.
Why am I turned on?
Oh yeah, dude, I was too, man. It was like one of the first times I went to her house to hang out. She was out there like barefoot in the forest, just fucking. She's one of those people that is like she grew up in like a forest basically. Like her property is like in the middle of the fucking forest. So like her parents' property. So she would like just walk out barefooted in that shit. So she's got like mega calloused bottoms of her feet, and so you know what I mean. So she just like, I have to like tell her, I'm like, wear shoes, don't just walk out in the pavement barefoot. She's like, that's just faster.
Wiki feet when?
I mean, if you're unironically, if you guys would want to pay money, I could probably convince her to do that because she needs money. I'm just saying, I bet she would. I'll bring it up with her, but like, I mean, like if you pay off her like. You know, if you pitch into paying off like her car payment, I'm sure she would.
I would unironically buy the wiki feet.
Really? You'd buy pictures of my girlfriend's feet, unironically.
Yes, that is correct, Red.
Why? Are you into her?
No,
I mean, you're allowed to be as long as you know that she's mine, motherfucker.
I'm into feet.
Really? I mean, well,
How is that weird, given all of this shit I like on Twitter? How is that the weird one?
Okay, how much money? How much are you offering?
$10 for a subscription is fine.
I don't know if she's gonna
You should see my only.
I don't know if she's gonna make like a regularly reoccurring thing. But how about like a one-time batch of like 10 or 20 photos? How much do you pay for that?
I'll get 15.
All right, I'll let her know. I'll get back to you on that. That's an hour of work, baby.
It really is too. Wow. Having shot loot content, it's
amazing. But anyway, so like who is
the
this?
Reason there was a reason I brought that neurotypical bit up. Because
I brought it up. I said neurotypicals aren't into Kobani, and that's why they need to be purged from the planet.
But like this whole conversation that I've been having, there's a reason why I brought that up. And if you look right here on fucking page 13.
Really drawing that one out, 13
page,
of 114?
12 to 13 here.
On 114?
On 114, yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
That's the first neurotypical thought I've seen out of Asa.
Which one?
At all.
Which one?
She is prepared down to the wire on how to survive this.
Which one? What are we talking about?
So from getting the fish to having the lighter to all of this like prep work that she has in her back of her head here. She has like a routine, but I think what she's lost is that inner monologue.
I don't really understand. Like the fish is just she doesn't want to eat the fish. What are you talking about? Neurotypical. That was actually. But
like, I'm going from like the bullies make the light the cigarette, so she has the lighter. She can prep everything down to the nth degree.
No, she doesn't have. Wait, was that her?
That looks like her hand. They're handing the lighter over.
Oh, I think I. No. That's Kobani knockoff.
That's Kobani knockoff?
Yep, because look at how it goes from her, and then it's her. Also, look at the sleeves of Asa. They're not black like those. Because look, it goes right from her saying,
"You are right.
I have some fire." Yeah. So
I'm a dumbass. I thought she actually had a thought there. I thought what it was Yoru had become her inner monologue.
No. In fact, yeah. Do you see why I was so confused? I was really confused as to what you were saying there. No, dude, it's actually the opposite. She's like mega autistic during this whole thing because they're literally in a scenario where it's like we might starve to death, and she's like, I can't eat fish. Like because we all know the fucking the neurodivergent. We all have a neurodivergent person in our life that like autistically screeches if they have to eat anything other than chicken nuggies, right?
Oh yeah, call me out there.
No, not even just that. My former roommate Paige, bro. Like I and again, this is not to call her out, but just to like exemplify what certain types of neurodivergent behavior can be like. And again, you guys are probably sick of me, hyperanalyzing all of this, but like that's clearly what it is to me. Like his characters out of like most shonen are very, very like
they're on the spectrum.
Every single one of them is on the spectrum in a different direction. But like with her, it reminds me a lot of one of my former roommates. I won't say her name, but it was you remember Justin when I lived with Justin? It was the person dating Justin. I remember she specifically wanted a certain thing from McDonald's and they didn't have it. So we got her like a breakfast burrito instead. And she literally was like she was pouty and almost like teared up because she was like and like Justin was like so sick of it at this point. They were like 3 months away from breaking up, and he was just like, oh my god, just fucking eat it. And she's just like, because it's like a texture thing, and like, oh, I don't like this or that. And so like just another notch on the.
I really get that texture thing now. The more I look at myself, I'm like, I like the same kind of feeling food usually.
Yeah, so that's just another notch on the Asa autism belt, and I love like literally, it's so and it makes her look so bad because they're all like prepping to survive, and they're like, oh no, are you allergic? Oh fuck. And she's like, no, I can't eat it. It looks like a dead animal, which is like, it comes off as like super spoiled, but it's really just an autistic thing for sure. And like she immediately can tell like, oh, I've made a, and like, god, I relate to this. It's like, oh no, I've done a thing where I look like a fool,
right?
And then on top of that, she's like, oh good, we have this moment where she's like, well, at least, and this actually perfectly bolsters my point here. She is like, oh, well, at least I'm not as dumb and autistic and weird as Denji. So she goes out to shit on Denji because that's what you do when you want to feel better. You find someone who's lesser than you, and she shits on him and like brings up things like something that's so minor, like, oh, you're a thief, just because she wants to feel better than him. And they have that moment, and then she's like, oh, I'm not a loser like Denji. I'm gonna go help. I got this phone. And then perfectly, what's one of her main things that has come up time and time and time again? Her clumsiness. Her clumsiness ruins her life at every element. The Bucky thing, getting her mom killed, and now here
and she breaks the phone.
And they're all like, God, you're fucking the shitty gay. We'll call it the shitty gay is like, you know what?
Welcome to shitty gay.
You fucking suck. He's like literally. He's like, ugh. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely some interesting. Like, it's time for some introspection for her, and now she doesn't have Yoru to like talk to, so maybe she can actually have some time to have some like inner thoughts and really think about herself. So, yeah,
right.
I love it.
And I'm so happy we get moments like this where like we see her finally break.
No other mangaka, by the way. Any other mangaka, by now we would have seen the devil. They would have been fighting. This is a whole chapter of just character stuff.
But basically a chapter and a half of like all character stuff. And what really makes this fun, because whenever a character breaks in a Fujimoto work, it gives some of that best writing, because he knows how to write completely broken emotion. It definitely comes from a lot of his kinks.
A lot of his cakes?
Kinks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, I'm glad you brought up the kink thing. You know what? I don't want to derail you. You finish your point, and then I have something to go back to.
So, like, once we get into that, like, broken Asa writing here, we get to see her a moment without Yoru again. And really, for the first time in part 2, because, like, she was basically immediately transformed into the War Devil pose. So
that's a good point, yeah. And like, I think now she being alone, not having anyone to talk to, this is gonna be. She's kind of she's able to feel temporarily here what it will theoretically be like when she achieves her goal. Because so far, her entire goal has been, I want to get this Yoru motherfucker out of my body. Now, here she is out of your body, and guess what? Oh wow, I forgot. Actually, I'm depressed. I have no friends. I hate socializing, and I want to kill myself on a regular basis. Not over exaggerating. Remember, that's an element of her character.
Right.
So, like, I think she genuinely might be like, maybe I don't want. And I could almost see this story going on down a path where, like, she's purposely like, whoops, I guess we couldn't kill Chainsaw Man today. Like, almost like trying to extend it because she doesn't want Yoru to leave.
Right, and then we can see, like, how much of a bluff Yoru's like, I'll just take over your body and achieve my goal card was. Like, was it a bluff? Does she have enough power to completely turn Asa into a full-on puppet here?
And that's the interesting thing too, because we know Yoru has her own set of weird shit going on. Yoru's super not confident in herself. You know what I mean? Clearly, I'm starting to think that maybe our our idea of her relationship with her sisters is accurate too, because she immediately last chapter she's like, don't listen to that fucking bitch. She said don't listen to that ... and then she got cut off. I imagine she was gonna call her a bitch or a monster or a scumbag or something.
Right, whatever.
Clearly doesn't like her sisters, and like her sister, her sister is trying to help, but I imagine it's in like a demeaning, like you can't get anything done yourself way, right? So they actually both have like very similar, yet actually different enough to be like to feel separate issues with themselves, and I think that they could genuinely help each other in a very wholesome way. And like, have we humanized a devil this much? Well, I guess we have because we had Angel Devil, but it'll be cool,
right? Like. And that's the only other time we really saw a humanized devil. And realistically, Angel's fucking power is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, and I guess we had the violence fiend.
Bro, the Angel Aki Yaoi is good. Get ready for it to skyrocket, by the way, because Angel just got animated in the anime.
I saw.
No, I fully ship that. I'm down.
I'm just more of... Aki suffered enough. Let him have his happiness, even if it costs him, you know?
Oh my god, dude. I saw a TikTok where, because the whole, I don't know if you remember, anyone who touches Angel immediately loses lifespan, right? You remember that?
Right.
So, like, I've seen so many TikToks where it's like Power is like doing like a TikTok in the foreground, and then in the background it's like Aki and Angel, like, and they've like wrapped each other's faces in plastic wrap and they're making out because they can't touch each other, but it's like, oh, this is fine.
As long as there's a layer of protection, I won't get the death disease.
Oh my god, dude! Imagine, man. Ugh.
Like, that is the ultimate STD right there.
Well, imagine being so desperate that, like, okay, we got the condom for the dick itself. We're gonna have to stay fully clothed. I'll poke a hole in some plastic wrap and put it around my dick so that like none of the like skin behind my dick's gonna touch you. And just fully clothed, fucking dude, I love it. Fully clothed dry humping is what they got to do.
Just need to feel something, Angel. Come on,
please. Well, I mean, Aki. I feel like Angel got him out of his shell. God, I'm very excited to rewatch that as it gets in. Well, actually, I don't know how long the break of the Chainsaw Man anime is going to be, but yeah.
I have no idea. I know the finale is
the last episode's next week, yeah. But once the finale's done, I'm going to binge through the manga with Allie, so I'm very excited for that.
That is going to be fun for you, too.
Yeah. Well, I've mentioned to her many times, in other anime, the beach episode is a fun little break. In Chainsaw Man, when you see a beach, prepare yourself.
You are the worst.
Just get ready for the beach.
The beach, once that gets animated, everybody's going to turn on Makima again, and I'm going to just be like, yes.
I remember us talking about this when we were first reviewing it, and I cannot get over, still to this day, that beach scene was like 25 chapters before the end of the whole part one. And from the beach scene to the very end, nothing is the same ever again. It's like, it is a nonstop, one of the craziest things I've ever read in any series. Like, from the beach to the end.
No, for real.
That was, the weekly reading that was fucking incredible. And I can't wait to, because at some point we'll get that again in part 2. And I'm so much looking forward to that.
I don't know if we're there yet.
No, not even close. Not even close. I'm saying at some point.
I feel like we're reaching a bit of a conclusion here. Not a full-on conclusion of part 2. But, like, I feel like we're going to start wrapping up the first little bit of this plot here with this school group of idiots here.
Good point, right? So, like, now we have her, she's still contemplating murder, right? Mm-hmm. Now she has options, right? Am I going to kill Denji? Am I going to kill this guy? Is she going to kill this guy and then realize, whoops, he's not Chainsaw Man, so I just committed normal-ass murder? You know what I mean?
Right.
Is it going to flip where she kills fake Saw Man, realizes he's not Chainsaw Man, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just make that guy the weapon and then fight Denji. It's so, who even knows?
Right, that's what I love about Chainsaw Man, right?
It's never predictable.
It's never predictable. It never falters to be interesting. And I fucking love the series so much. Right now, they did the
Wrapped.
The Shonen Jump
Wrapped. I can't fucking find mine.
It's in your email.
I still can't find it. I don't know if I used the right email to. I don't know. I'll look again.
So let me go to Twitter.com.
What is the email from? Is it like Viz or yeah?
I
want to find it Viz. So bad.
I'm 95% sure it was Viz. Let me actually
Yeah.
open.
Tell the squad what your Wrapped is when you get there. Ugh. You guys are the squad, by the way. Oh God.
Was it Viz or was it Shonen Jump?
Happy.
Let me look.
I get way too much spam in my email. It's fucking impossible.
Dude, dead ass. It is Shonen Jump, and it has a title line: "Your 2022 Year in Review."
Okay.
The email address would be vizmedia.noreply.
I'm so sad. I think I must have my shit through a different fucking email, maybe. I don't know.
So my Wrapped is Sakamoto Days. Mission Yosakura Family.
Sakamoto Days is number 1?
Yeah.
Damn.
I binged like 45 chapters of it, so that kind of helped. Mission Yosakura Family, Witch Watch, Dawn to Dawn, and then Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man made it into my top 5, even though it just kind of restarted near the end of the year.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember when I saw that, I was like, I wonder why it's just 5. But yeah, that's a good point. What day did they email you that?
This was December 19th.
Okay. What the fuck? I want it. I don't have it. Could it be in spam?
That's also very possible.
Spam.
See, the fun part is I could almost guarantee Chainsaw Man would not have been in there if they counted like Jump Plus titles that aren't on the proper Shonen Jump app. Because Ayakashi Triangle would have been that number 5.
Oh yeah, I don't know what other email I would have used.
Yeah, I can't answer that question for you.
I do have too many emails. It's on net. It's my shitty Netscape email. Oh my God, I don't even know if I can get into that anymore. God, Netscape. Jesus
That's a callback.
Christ.
I had an AOL email address until like a year ago.
Bro,
I finally closed it.
You get punished for being like an internet OG. Like my first,
right.
It's fucked up. My Facebook login is redalex3@netscape.net. Don't worry, you'll never find out my password. And
unless you've worked on the channel.
Well, don't. Anyway, so and like now that they're doing the meta shit, I tried to fucking log into my VR headset recently, and I had to do a whole fucking thing because my old ass email is so old that I couldn't fucking find it. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, your email functioned on Web 2.0.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I remember that was my Club Penguin shit as well. I was an OG internet user. This account has been deactivated due to inactivity. I just tried. There we go. So now I just can't get my Wrapped, I guess. Fucking dumb. Fucking dumb.
I had an AOL email address specifically so I could have AIM.
Cool. Yeah. I remember the fucking. What was the noise again? I don't know.
Yep. And that was my alert ringtone for the longest time.
All right, just putting it out there. Why can't you just look at your Wrapped on the fucking website? Why has it got to be a fucking?
It is annoying. Like I know Party James was having trouble with it too.
Yeah, it's because it's dumb. You go to the fucking Shonen Jump because I saw yours on Twitter and I went to Shonen Jump and I was like, okay. And then there's a thing. It says introducing the Shonen Jump 2022 year in review. See how yours reads, and then you click it, and it just doesn't.
Shit.
It just doesn't show you anything. I don't know why it would do that.
Everybody wants to copy Spotify.
Oh, yeah, because that was a great idea. YouTube did it. I'm not sure what else did it, but yeah.
Apple Music did it.
It's a fun idea.
Fucking Bumble did it. Fucking Bumble ranked my matches on their dating app by fucking zodiac
Here's
sign.
The juiciest pussies you've smashed this year.
And I'm like, I do not give a fuck about your zodiac sign.
It starts going through your Wrapped, and somehow it has like pictures of you actively fucking them. You're like, what? You're like looking around your room, like what?
What? Did you tap into my security cameras?
You have cameras all over your house. It's not hard.
It's really not.
Here's the moment you nutted. Ugh. Here's when
You can go in the besties chat and see my nut face.
Here's when she took the Plan B the morning after. You better call her and thank her for that.
I have actually bought Plan B for my dates. I hate you so much.
Bro, maybe you'd have more money if you just fucking used a condom. Those things are expensive, aren't they?
So, no. Deadass, the vasectomy was my greatest decision.
Oh, I forgot you got one of those. Yeah.
So now I don't even have to do that. I can just delete the Plan B for my fucking... I had to subscribe and save for Plan B.
Man. Wow. Okay, let me go back to the chat.
I do not want to see one single comment about my down bad thirsty tweets either, chat. Thank you.
Oh, dude. I showed you the muscle girl tweet that got me. That one got me. I was, oh.
There is one tweet in my replies that I just feel like is going to be, screenshotted in Vex's most down bad moment of 2020.
What is it? What is it?
I'm going to DM this to you on Facebook.
Oh, God. Oh, I'm going to have to look at it on my laptop because I got my phone on downtime right now.
Here you go. Have fun with that.
Oh, my God. Let's see. I got to open it up. In the comments, what's your juiciest, sacrediest, kinkiest kink? Let me know in the comments. Okay, let's see. What have you sent me? I'm sorry for the delay. It's loading up. All right, clicking it. Is this a porn star? What is she?
That is a OnlyFans model. I just kind of shot my shot with.
Oh, do you think? Is it possible?
I highly doubt it.
Where do they live? For context, audience, there's a I assume is this a trans person? This model?
That is, yes.
Okay, so there's a trans model who's like, I can't find any trans girls that can come enough to give me a facial, and I'm seriously thinking about trying to find a boy to give me a facial. And then Vex is like, me please, me. What if? Can you imagine?
I walked out of the car and I'm like, I need to go to fucking church for that tweet.
What if they DM you and they're like, all right, I need proof. Send me a video of your cum volume, and then you're gonna have to.
100% I would do that. I have zero shame.
You'd have to. Do you still take those rope pills?
Yeah, I have them still. I can take them.
Okay, yeah. So I can feel you take a bunch of those and you just like cum a literal bucket, and then they like pay you to fly out.
Pay for my flight, and goddamn, I will be there.
You gotta document this whole experience.
If me shooting my shot on Twitter works, and they are
go on your OnlyFans,
and they are consenting to me revealing anything, I will 100% vlog about it.
What a lovely life you live.
I went from like camming bands fucking concerts last month to shooting my shot because I'm so fucking horny right now.
I will always respect your wild and crazy life. What was I gonna say? By the way, I was gonna say, do you see why I keep my Facebook and my Twitter separate? But at the same time, I forgot that I have this story that I can tell. My dad found my Twitter.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's not like the type that's gonna be. I haven't lived with him in 10 years, so it's not like what's he gonna do? But like, apparently my boomer dad, he doesn't really understand the difference between cross-dresser and bisexual, because my pinned tweet is me in that cat girl skirt.
Outfit, yeah.
So he saw that, and my mom told me about this. He saw that and he turned to my mom and he was like, is red bisexual? And I'm like, well, first of all, that's not what that picture is. The word you're thinking of is cross-dresser. And second of all, yes, I am, but not a cross-dresser. But I guess that one time I was. I don't know. It's confusing, man.
How many subscribers on the new channel would I have to get for you to do an entire live stream in that maid outfit?
None. I'll do that for free.
Just throwing it away.
I liked wearing it. I felt a little twinge of euphoria. I think I really enjoyed wearing that thing.
Egg. egg, crack.
Yeah. No, I mean, my guy, if I could pull it off, I would in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? I would wear more feminine shit outwardly in a heartbeat.
I was blessed with the twink body.
Yeah, exactly. You got to understand, I'm so fucking big, dude. Even when I lose weight, even at my like tiniest, I'm like a big, wide, muscly boy. There's no feminizing me. It can't happen. It's unfortunate, but true. I think in my ideal, if I could create a character like a Sims thing, I would just want to be like as androgynous as possible, like they. You know what I mean? Like a full ass they. But it's never gonna happen, unfortunately. So I'll just stick with.
If you were even like 3 inches shorter, you could pull it off. But you're just
also less wide. Yeah.
You are way too tall to really pull off like a fully femme look.
6'3" and 270 at the moment.
Right, and your frame is that of a fucking linebacker.
True. Yeah, dude, never forget when I was working at Big Boy, changing the fucking sign outside, and like the sussiest ass dudes in fucking trucks came. Like 3 dudes in a fucking truck came up to me and were like, "Hey, boy, I want to join the army." Unironically, like, I'm embellishing a little bit, but they literally were like, "Have you ever considered joining the army?" I'm like, "No, get the fuck away from me."
They were 100% the douchebags who would bring the pull-up bar to the high school.
Oh yeah. They saw me and they were like, "That's a big meat shield, boy."
That one right there is going to be a conscientious objector, and we can put him right in the front of the meat field.
Either way, capping that conversation off. Yeah, I think my ideal is the fully androgynous, but I can't do that, so I'll just stick with being as feminine as a guy as I can reasonably. Like what I've actually noticed is, you remember that TikTok I showed you where it was like feminine body language versus like masculine body language?
Yep.
I realized that like I sit like the feminine shit. I sit like that without even realizing it. Like I cross my legs and
I have done that.
I'll notice myself like standing and like putting my hand on my hip and like leaning a little bit, and like I just realized that like, oh yeah, I just like do that. So like my body, and then Carlos, my boss, actually told me my body language is like leaning feminine, and I was like, oh yeah. Yep. So that's really the extent of what I do, I think, which is probably why people thought I was gay my whole life.
I suck with body language. 100%. Like that is my weakest thing, and I've noticed like viewing that person's TikTok that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because that is like half of my feed. I either have like trans schizo post talk, or it's like slideshows of like increasingly degeneracy. Mm-hmm. And then that kind of stuff where it's like body language, either for like boudoir, like shoots, or just like mass versus femme. And I'm like, every bit of that is something I've done my entire life, and I'm like, oh fuck, I understand. Like I had the same thing. Like everybody was like, yeah, 100%. Everybody thought I was like full on gay.
I mean, you definitely had a phase where you were like super masculine looking. I remember.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
But anyway, let's see here. So yeah, no, I mean, like, trying to bring it back to the chapter, there's just so much with her, and like really talking down to Denji. Like, I was thinking about this scene too, where he's like, he literally knows what's happening. He's like, "I told you, it's this eternity devil thing," and she's like, "I know more. You're
I'm not in the Devil Hunter Club.
Quit making things up." Like, I mean, like, literally awful. So what is our thoughts on Kobani ripoff here? Because like the similarities are striking. She even has like similar hair clips. So either this is like, I don't know. Kobani didn't have like the moles under her eyes though, did she? Like this girl does. Go to pages 4 to 5 to find her on 114.
4 to 5. Let me go back about 20 pages. Oh yeah.
Kobani. All right, hold on a sec. Let me look. I'm looking her up here to see if she had like moles under her eyes. Oh, you know what? Is it a different eye? She might. She does have moles, but they're on the other eye. They're on the opposite side, and she has hair clips, but less of them. It's like it's like strikingly similar to the point. It's like kind of sus. I'll be honest. Like any author would think about that. Like so literally, she has the 2 moles under the eyes, but it's the other eye. She has hair clips, but instead of like 6 like this girl has. She has 2, and it's on the other side. It's like a mirrored, slightly different Kobani. Even down to the fact that, like, you know, Kobani, it's like, oh, my mom told me to get a job to pay for my more successful brother's scholarship, and it was either this or prostitution. Whereas this girl is, my mom made me join to get a, you see what I mean? Like, it's like so almost similar. It's very strange.
It's very bizarre.
And so either, and I remember earlier you were talking about Fujimoto's kinks. Either this is just one of his many kinks where it's like he either loves the overly domineering woman or the like pathetic, like drooling, convulsing on the floor woman. So either he just likes that so much that he's made a carbon copy of Kobani, or this is sus and maybe this person is either related to Kobani, trying to mimic Kobani. It's very strange.
Is.
The fact that like Denji doesn't. One last thing, the fact that Denji doesn't mention it at all, because that's what made me know it wasn't Kobani. Because otherwise, wouldn't Denji be like, "Oh shit, it's you, Kobani?" But like he doesn't. It's very weird.
It's very bizarre. Like Fujimoto definitely has like 2 distinct types, and I get it because like I'm kind of the same way there, but what strikes me is like he has a habit of like mirroring certain characters that he really grows attached to.
Does he? Well, yeah, I guess that's true because Fami's kind of acting a lot like Makima, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there was one of the earlier devil hunters that got just murked in the school fight. That looked a bit like Eri from Goodbye Eri.
Yeah. No, I've always thought that his character design, at least for me, his designs have never been his strong suit because like they sometimes can be a bit same-facey. I haven't had that problem as badly in part 2.
Oh no, not at all. So one last thing I want you to see in your Facebook.
Oh yeah. All right, hold on.
I just want you to react to this post that they put in the dub. Or the fucking Chainsaw Man anime.
My boy. Wait, is this supposed to move or is it just a picture?
It's just a picture.
Oh yeah, dude. Future Devil is inbound, bro.
But look how unnecessarily buff they made him.
The future. Vex, you should do an unironic Future Devil cosplay, but you should like use your fucking copious amounts of money that you seem to have and like commission like a super professional costume. Like I want it to be...
I really unironically want to do Future Devil.
I would love that. And you just walk around with your shitty little voice you do like the future.
My fucking diet golem, yeah,
the
absolutely.
Future is bad. No, you know what would actually be fucking hilarious for a Future Devil cosplayer? Go around and just start making like wild predictions about the future. Donald Trump will die of Donald Trump will choke on a Big Mac in 3 months. The future.
I was gonna say 2032. Cybertrump will be elected president.
No, hell no. Don't curse that into existence. I thought you were going to say Cybertruck, like an Elon Musk thing. Finally, in 2032, the Cybertruck will come out and they will all immediately pull a Samsung 11 and explode. Or whatever, whichever Samsung it was.
It was a Note 7.
Oh, okay.
I know because I had pre-ordered one.
Nice.
And mine was on hold while they were doing the recall. They're like, never mind, we're going to send you a different device.
Wow.
But no,
I saw a really good Kishibe cosplay on TikTok today where he did you see it too?
I bet I did.
Is it the one where he's... Well, you tell me, because you have a tendency to just agree with me.
I saw him with the... basically, like, fucking, what's her... lesbian chick.
Mm-hmm.
God.
It
was like the side-by-side...
I used to have it. Quan. Just call her Quan.
Quan, yeah. Quan Shi. And they were doing like side-by-side conversation from that panel.
Oh, that's cool. I saw one where he was walking around, and he never talked, but he was walking around and he had like the notebook that said Makima's listening. I really enjoyed that. Just like showing that to everybody.
Oh God.
That's a very clever like antisocial introvert cosplayer move. Just like be Kishibe and just like anytime someone talks to you, just Makima's listening.
That is actually really... If I want to be lazy this year for one of the Comic-Con...
You should do Kishibe. You always loved Kishibe. And you bring a fucking flask and actually fill it with alcohol. What are they gonna do? Check? Just be like, nah, dude, it's part of my cosplay. Don't worry about it.
Fluid check. That is 100% rum in that. I don't know what you're talking about, security officer. Not at all.
Two shots of vodka.
If they tried to make me dump my flask, I'll do what I did at the airport.
Just drink it.
I just chugged the whole flask and then got on a flight.
That's the way to do it.
I'm like, I'll mail my flask back to myself. Fuck it.
Nice. I also just another moment from the fucking chapter here, just to show how little it's just, again, it really shows how little Denji gives a shit about Asa, when Asa thought that, because Asa really did think that it'd be so easy, like, oh, he's just a dumb boy desperate for girls, and so did I, you know what I mean? Like, right. I have to fully admit, I underestimated Denji. We called him incel too much. That was a whole thing in the comments too. I don't want to get into it. We got into it plenty. But like, you know, I will fully admit that Denji has exceeded my expectations, like a lot of you said he would. So fair enough. But I love this moment where, you know, she was so convinced that he would be like head over heels for her. And you have this moment where she's like agonizing over what to do. And she's just like seemingly like banging her head against the glass, or just like kind of holding her head against the glass. And,
right.
And someone's like, is she okay? And he's like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Think I'm with her? Fuck this bitch. She sucks.
It's so unfortunate how shit on she's been.
I know,
but
it makes her so lovable, because like she's shit on just as much as Kobani, except she's got like stronger mental strength. Like she's a very tough girl, and I really like that about her. It's actually something I find very attractive about Asa, is that like she's goes through so much, but she really maintains her. So you can tell she's like internally, she's probably like 1 inch away from crying at all times, but she never lets it out. And like at one point she needs to have like a good cry, and maybe we're getting close to that at the end of this chapter here, but like, God, she's so strong. She goes through so much, and she tries so hard to like project like that confidence, you know what I mean?
It's very I hate seeing a character so broken and detached from everything. I want her to be able to let out her emotions at some point. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be at the end of this arc, though.
No, I think it'll be a while. Yeah.
I think after this, she'll have that internal fortitude to kind of be herself again, just a little bit, because now she's having to go back to a life without Yoru. But I think what we're going to get after that... Well,
keep in mind, not for a long time, like just while she's in here.
But we don't know how long this actually is with the effects of the Eternity Devil, too.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they'll be in here for like a week or two. Yeah, because you're right. It's set up that they could survive for a while with the fish in the water, yeah.
And we've already seen what the Eternity Devil can do in part 1. Like, that was what...
They were there for a couple days, at least 3 or 4 days.
It was like 3 or 4 days inside that hotel of hell. Yeah. So, like, depending on how shitty these devil hunters are, because we've never really seen them in full action.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that the one that killed her friend, that I'm blanking on the name of again,
Yuko.
School shooter, yeah. The one who killed Yuko is most likely this the bad gay.
Yeah, the fake saw man there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's got, and again, like, I think we theorized, at least I theorized, that like he probably has like pseudo Chainsaw Man powers, right, because the Justice Devil probably gave him that. I'm guessing. I'm guessing it's going to be one of those like, yeah, well, I wanted to be. We talked about this with remember Eisen's famous quote about like admiration is the furthest thing from understanding. Mm-hmm. He's probably like a Chainsaw Man fanboy, this fake Saw Man guy. So he was like, I want to be just like Chainsaw Man. So now he's like got Chainsaw Man's powers because of a contract with Justice Devil, but he's going around doing like shit that Chainsaw Man would never do, and he's like making him look bad and shit, I'm guessing.
Right, and that really checks in a way, right? Because when the Justice Devil gives a contract, I think we talked about this in the last review.
They said something, I think Yuko said something along the lines of like, your power will manifest in the way, or like how your justice is, right? And if his justice is like, wow, Chainsaw Man is justice, I want to be just like that, or something like that, yeah.
Right, and that would check, because like that being on the level of like what his true justice is, when he manifests that he would appear to be that, but he does not have the healing factor as
Right.
down packed as Chainsaw Man, because we saw his body looks like it actually did take some damage from
Right.
that. So his justice will be swift but temporary, I feel like.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got to imagine he'll be dead within the next 5 chapters, some way or the other.
So like with that being the end of this, like I think he's the only skilled one here too. So
I
judging
mean,
by
it
what we
is the
know so
Devil Hunters
far.
Club. I imagine they'll be as skilled as. Do you remember when it was before the pros showed up? It was before them. Like a couple of the Devil Hunter Club kids actually did temporarily fight Yuko. You remember?
Right.
And like they were all right. You know what I mean? Like one, like they were fine.
Right, but
Yeah.
they were as skilled as a fucking teenager could be at a job that,
Yeah.
statistically you're going to die taking on.
Yeah. So like not great, but
So
yeah, the
I
only
kind
one.
of
Yeah.
respect. I feel like he'd be the only one that actually could stand a chance to the Eternity Devil because he has the
Him,
actual like
Denji.
pseudo. Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, out of those kids.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And keep in
like
mind,
with him,
Asa can't really do much anymore either because without Yoru, she probably doesn't have. Well, no, actually, maybe she does still have the power because she's saying. I wonder. That's actually another good question, right? Can Asa turn things into weapons without Yoru being like connected to her right now? Because Fami is
right.
saying turn Denji into a weapon, or is it one of those like once you kill him, then I'll bring Yoru back and then you guys can turn him into a weapon? So
I
basically,
believe
my
it
question
that.
is Asa to reference Ruby combat ready right now?
God. So I don't think she's capable of doing anything here, which is the unfortunate part. Um, but we'll see. If she's able to manifest the weapons, at least she'll have a chance. You know.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting the situation we're in here, and the longer she's in here, the more she's going to break, because mentally she's already fucked. So we're going to have more layers of her getting fucked up emotionally and mentally being inside there. And for somebody that's already like suicidal, um, inside of an eternity, right? A pseudo eternity. It's the eternity until the eternity devil is killed. We're going to see that break away more and more and more, to the point where I think she'd just be throwing herself at the eternity devil, like, please fucking kill me.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
more dangerous than that. We already know that she's been told by Fami, I'm not letting you out of here until Denji's made into a weapon or until Chainsaw Man's dead, right? So I think rather than throwing herself at him, like, please kill me, it's probably going to be she's going to go slowly more and more nuts until she literally is like, I got to kill them right now. I got to kill one of them right now, right? It's going to push her to that. So we're going to see her just like have to fucking commit a murder in front of all these people, probably. Or at least be driven to almost do that.
right, and that will probably be the point where like somebody comes and stops her.
Yeah. And so yeah, I want to learn more about Kobani ripoff as well because like it's very weird how the samey they are. And then other than that, is there anything else you have to say about this?
I think the last thing is like prediction wise. I think next week we're going
Oh,
to
hey,
have.
sorry, quick thing. Yoshida's there as well. Tentacle boy, he can fight.
Right, I
Yeah.
completely forgot he was there. So like next week, I feel like we'll have our first attempt at taking on the Eternity Devil, and then I feel like after that we're going to have a regroup chapter, right? Because there's no way in hell they're going to win their first run. They're going to take some losses,
Yeah, I think it'd be
and
cool if
then
they took some losses, yeah.
they'll come in and kind of like go, well, that didn't work. Let's go and regroup, kind of figure out what we're going to do. And once we have that regroup, that's when we'll start to see like the breaks in Asa more. I
Part
feel
of
like.
me's wondering if I like that. Part of me's wondering if Famine is working with Eternity Devil or even forcing Eternity Devil to do this because maybe, probably more of a working with because I'm sure Eternity Devil is more than happy to try to get some revenge against Denji, right? But like I feel like this is like a thing that they're either it is just something that Famine's doing, but it doesn't really seem like something that would be up Famine's power alley, or it's like a work together thing, because I think that Famine is looking at it as like, oh, I gotta help my useless little sister, so I'm gonna trap you in this fucking aquarium. Because I think maybe Famine from the outside is like noticing, like, okay, you keep delaying, Asa, you keep delaying this whole, let's kill Chainsaw Man, let's make a weapon. You're delaying and delaying and delaying and delaying. No more delaying. We're just gonna trap you in this fucking aquarium until you get it done, right? So I think that Famine has probably ordered or suggested to Eternity Devil to completely, like, just keep yourself hidden. Don't even come out. Wait until they lose it. Like, wait until they fucking lose it. So, like, they might just, because they mentioned, like, did you see the devil? They're looking for the devil. He might just, like, stay totally fucking hidden as possible, until they just lose their minds. Yeah.
Yeah. I think though, I think you got a point there. I think there's one other thing that we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not related to the chapter. It's related to content.
Okay.
We will be bringing back the responding to comments next chapter.
Yeah.
Because we kind of slipped on that.
True.
And that's our bad.
I'll go and find one right now.
I am logged into the third channel currently, so I have to actually search.
That's a live stream archive, I imagine.
Live stream / live channel, yeah.
Okay. No, you don't got. Don't worry. I'm just gonna find one. I'm just gonna find one real quick before we end the discussion. You do your thing.
So I am looking at last week's or the last chapter here.
Imposter on the Loose, is that our last one? No, that's not our last one. Which one's the last one?
Cat Criminal.
Oh yeah, Denji scores an 8. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really.
Oh yeah, this was the one where we had the talk about the incel Denji.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, you responded to that one. I missed this one. Yeah, no, Luke's right. Like, the first chapter of Cypher Academy didn't really sit well with me. I love that author, by the way.
Oh, hey, I can...
But...
oh, sorry. Finish what you're saying.
But, like, that style feels like it would have worked really well if it came out, like, 3 years ago. Because, like, there's a crypto prize involved in it. And there's a lot of, like, puzzle, ciphery, militaristic talk there. And, like, it's a great concept, but it feels like it should have came out before it did.
I will say... Oh, you still going?
Because that the whole crypto like crash and everything, and then like it's lost all of its popularity or faith with consumers. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I'll give a shout out to what a fucking the worst name possible to shout out. It's QuinMetit1737, who basically before all these chapters came out was betting on it being Famine Devil, and then they even made an edit, like post 113 edit. Yeah, boy, I was right. So yeah, so they called it. There we go. I shouted out a comment. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I'll grab one comment here, and I honestly do like the use here, because we addressed it a little bit, but I fucking so we were talking about like the War Devil, right? And like what powers might be gone. So Roman here is like, war only stopped in the Western world, gents. Rest of the places enjoyed it plenty. And it was about to come back, except for brave folks in Ukraine refusing to establish precedents, putting Europe back in Russian shadow. And I addressed that comment a little bit because it's not edited, but it didn't show like the full thing in the mobile preview when I was reading it. So like I only saw war only stopped in the Western world. So we're aware. We're both politically aware of like the ongoing conflicts of everything. But I do like the fact that they actually brought up like the Ukraine bit there, which I didn't feel like a lot of people would have brought up because there's like so many goddamn like wars going on that we've kind of helped fund.
Well, it's not really
Because we
relevant
would rather
to.
commit it by proxy.
It's not really relevant to Chainsaw Man. Is the only reason I didn't bring it up, right? Because Chainsaw Man takes place in like '97 or whatever, and Chainsaw Man also takes place in an
Right.
alternate reality where Russia would be totally different because
Right.
the Soviet Union's still around because nukes didn't exist and World War II didn't happen. So it's a totally different like playing field in so anytime I'm
Exactly.
talking about like the lack of wars, I'm usually talking about Chainsaw Man and how like it would be a totally different
Hmm.
scenario in Chainsaw Man. But in general in our world
Exactly.
too, it
And
is okay. Go ahead.
that's kind of the point I was getting at in the video, but I did feel like the need to like bring that one up. Like we're not ignorant to the whole like geopolitical situation.
Yeah. But anyway, I also we get a confirmation in this chapter. I did want to bring this up as well that Yoshida used to be a civilian, like a private hunter, and then transferred to public safety. So he probably does work with Kishibe, or at least like that. What's ever left of Makima's former squad, if anything.
Right.
But yeah, so
It's
that's
so weird thinking about like how few successfully transferred from one to the other.
well.
And then I
Usually,
realized like in this
good.
you die first.
Yeah. Well, what we learn in part one is that the private devil hunters, it's like they enjoy a much more cushy lifestyle because they can pick and choose which devils they want to hunt, so they can go after like the easiest ones and get like the most money out of it. Whereas if you're a public devil hunter, you get a salary, you're doing it on taxpayer money, you're like a cop basically. And in Fujimoto's world, public devil hunters are the ones that have to go after the ones that privates won't touch. So almost always they're going after the ones that are like surefire death. So the fact that Yoshida has transferred means that he's either brave, or I'm guessing that like I have to assume that him and Kishibe had like a talk behind the scenes and he was like, hey kid, I liked your stuff during the whole thing that we did together. Kind of fucked up that you just completely like overlooked my whole please help me stop Makima thing, but I'll overlook that. I don't know. But yeah, like it's interesting that he transferred because that kind of goes against our joke about him, which was that like, nah, I don't got time for this. I got puss to smash. I got tests to study for. So maybe it seems like maybe he's had a bit of a change of heart. Or maybe Kishibe made it worth his while. Like, all right, what do you want?
Yeah, he must have given him like unlimited pussy and all of the money
He doesn't need to be given
to come
pussy.
into the part of
He earns pussy, Bex.
He's got that riz.
Yeah, ew. I hate that. That's the new swag, and I fucking hate that word. It is not good. Drip is just sitting there, and it's a great word. And why do we feel the need to make a new one?
Because Gen Z changes their vernacular more than we
Riz
did.
is so bad. And maybe I'm being a boomer, but like that just doesn't sound right.
It's just charisma. Just say charisma.
I like drip. I've always liked drip. I don't know why. But either way, so
like charisma's not a bad word.
It's a little long. It's a little long for Gen Zers. But yeah, I guess we should probably
Everything's got like 3-letter abbreviations. I fucking hate it.
Oh god, all right.
I either have boomers or Gen Z working with me, and it sucks because I'm either way too young to understand what they're talking about or way too fucking old.
I don't know. I don't have any like funny comment to wrap it up. But I think we should probably wrap it up. My brain hurts.
How long is this recording?
We'll check. Here comes. Get ready for the Vex, over-exaggerated Vex scream. Is everyone ready? The Jesus fucking Christ! Are you ready? Here it comes. Hour and 27 minutes.
That's not bad.
You fucker! Oh my god, I was ready. Everyone knows the over-exaggerated Vex scream. It's like it's a staple.
And that's why I subverted your expectations.
Fuck you. I'm so tired, bro. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
I love you all.
That's a video. Peace. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Go and I want to say something. I gotta say something fucked up. I always have to, but it can't be too forced. It has to be natural enough. Y'all watch Wednesday, the fucking Netflix show about Wednesday Addams?
I've
been watching it.
I've watched
Wednesday, kind of a baddie though, and I looked it up. The actress is 20. Don't even fucking at me. All right.
I unironically want her in more things. She is a very good actress,
bro, and she's so short. She's as short as Allie. I think I'm like into short girls. I think Allie's done that to me because she's 5'1". Go ahead.
it is a power dynamic thing too, Red. Like
Well, also, yeah, because
you,
Wednesday Addams, I don't know how much you know about the Addams family, but like her Wednesday in that show, I've barely know anything about the Addams family, but I watched that. She's got that like goth girl, emo girl thing going on, but she's also like, she
Mhm.
takes it a step further by being like actually unhinged. Like episode
As
one,
like
good.
I tracked like why I'm so attracted to goth chicks. I'm like, when I was a kid, I loved Wednesday Addams from the movies.
Oh, dead ass.
I liked, yep. I
Oh,
was
okay.
raised on old shows, Red.
Fair enough.
So
Oh yeah, your mom. Yeah, I can see it.
I was attracted to that. I was attracted to the Hex Girls in Scooby Doo
Oh man, dude.
and Shigo from Kim Possible.
Okay, Vex, you need to go on Netflix, and I know you have a Netflix, or at least you can bum off of someone. You need to go on Netflix and watch Wednesday right now. Okay, like half of.
I have been watching it at work.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, how far are you in?
It is. I watched the first 2 episodes yesterday.
Dude, I really really enjoy her character. Like she's got like really funny quips, and the actress has got the
It was the
fucking.
dance scene on every fucking social
Yeah,
media ever that was convincing
dude.
me to watch it.
It's so good, bro. She put 110% of her pussy into that, bro.
I That's why I'm like, put her in more things.
Oh my god, it's
Fuck
just,
Chris. I want her to be the female version of Chris Pratt, and she's in everything.
oh yeah. No, I mean I don't know if it would translate, but like her as Wednesday, she does that fucking stare so well that just like I'm on it. And then
Right.
there's a line that really made me attached to her because there's at first you just think like, oh, this is just how she is and she's proud of it, but then there's like a conversation. I don't know if you got this far. I'm not sure which episode it is, but there's a conversation she has with one of the characters where this other character that's not Wednesday, she's like, oh, she's talking to Wednesday and she's saying, oh, it must be nice to not care about what anyone thinks of you. And Wednesday, very straight up, very honest, is just like, sometimes I wish I did care more about what people thought of me, and like
Right.
that means like her lack of like empathy and her like numbness actually does get to her. I love that. I really really like her character in this a lot.
it I was hesitant originally because I'm like, well, Tim Burton's kind of fallen off
But he's just directing it. He
lately.
didn't. He
Like a lot
didn't.
of his
Pen did not touch paper with that
right,
man. He just directed it.
right. So like when I found out it was just like him directing, I'm like, okay, it might actually still be really good.
Well, because that's what he does.
And
That's
I
what he's
like
done with most of.
production value,
Go
like
ahead.
production value, lighting, editing, everything is so fucking phenomenal in that. There's not a wasted shot in that show.
Yeah, I'm
And
not.
that is so fucking rare.
Yeah, I'm not on like it's a masterpiece. I just really enjoy Wednesday's character. To me, it's like it reminds me of
Right.
like certain anime I watch where I'm like, the anime is like a 6.5 out of 10, but like I really like this one character, right? I just really really like Wednesday. Like so, I'm watching it for her and like her shenanigans. I'd watch like a slice of life thing with just Wednesday going about doing Wednesday stuff. That's yeah. Anyway, so I'll end off the video by saying, I have regular fantasies of Wednesday Addams and my girlfriend scissoring. Goodbye. You got peace.
Peace. I'm done.